Since it's become painfully apparent that Rockstar has abandoned Red Dead Online for the foreseeable future, with a lack of an update since the summer of 2021, or any new passes, content roles, or even quality of life title updates that are much needed for Red Dead Online, I've decided to mosey back to Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer a couple weeks ago, and I've been having an absolute blast playing Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer while I go on my road to Legendary. I've been playing Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer since it launched shortly after Red Dead Redemption over a decade ago, but I was playing casually. I wasn't really like hardcore grinding Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer back then, and I never reached legendary status. Now, technically, there's 5 legendary statuses. You can get 5 badges, 5 legendary characters, and of course 5 legendary mounts. So you can like get to rank 50, prestige it, start back over again, which is kind of awesome. It gives you a goal to aspire towards when it comes to Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer, unlike Red Dead Online, especially for us veterans who have maxed out all our roles. We fully upgraded our camp. We filled our horse stable stall with 10 horses. We have all the clothing, all the weapons we want. We've done all the legendary bounties, sampled or killed all the legendary animals. We've done all the Land of Opportunity missions, Life of Shine missions, the Stranger missions, and free roam, the free roam events, as well as filled our lockboxes and our satchels with the Kappa Tally, and we have plenty of cash and gold. It's just nice to have something to go back to and focus on, a goal. And that's what I have in Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer for the foreseeable future, trying to get legendary status. Most of my viewers and subscribers know that I am not the best at PvP. I absolutely suck at PvP. I am not a PvP pro at all. And a lot of times I would try to avoid PvP whenever possible, especially in a public lobby like GTA Online, where you have broomsticks, orbital cannons, and other nonsense, or even in Red Dead Online as of late because of all the nonsense in Red Dead Online. However, I've actually grown to quite enjoy PvP in Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer, and here's why I believe Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer PvP is better than Red Dead Online. When I say that PvP is better in Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer than Red Dead Online, I'm not just talking about the PvP modes. By the way, the PvP modes are also fun, especially if you happen to have a few people to play with, and I think a lot more people are going back to Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer lately, especially if you happen to have it on Xbox One, Xbox One X, or Xbox Series X or S, and you happen to have a copy of Red Dead Redemption and Xbox Live and Internet, you too can go back and play Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer. You can get characters unlocked, mounts unlocked, titles, and eventually unlock weapons by ranking up in Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer. The best way, obviously, to do it is doing the gang hideouts in free roam, but you can also earn XP by the PvP modes in Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer, or simply just do PvP out in the free roam events of New Austin, the Great Plains Tall Trees of West Elizabeth, or all the way down in Mexico in Nuevo Paraíso. Simplicity is the big game changer when it comes to PvP in Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer versus Red Dead Online. Red Dead Online relies on a lot of other factors that become very annoying, such as players using ability cards, tonics, consumables, as well as Deadeye and different ammo types like explosive, incendiary ammo. None of that is an issue in Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer. You don't have to worry about other players with Deadeye, or ability cards, or spamming tonics and food and consumables in order to stay alive. Yeah, you have a health regen system in Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer, similar to Red Dead Redemption 1, where if you take too much damage, of course you die, but if you retreat to safety, you will heal back up naturally. But I appreciate the fact that this game is way simpler and way more enjoyable when it comes to PvP, because that crap in Red Dead Online gets on my last nerves, and other players rely so heavily on Deadeye and ability cards, the tonics, food, consumables, especially players that use nothing but explosive incendiary ammo. Now, we do have the explosive rifle in Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer that you can occasionally get by completing certain objectives. It's temporary. You only get like 5 rounds for it, which is totally fine compared to having explosive rounds in almost every single weapon. Your revolvers, your pistols, your rifles, your repeaters, your shotguns. At least with explosive rounds, it's only limited to one weapon in Red Dead Redemption Multiplayer. And I love the fact that you only technically have one ammo type for all your weapons. One ammo type for revolvers and pistols, rifles, repeaters, shotguns, sniper rifles. I think one of the big problems with PvP in Red Dead Online and other recent games is they try to reinvent the wheel when it comes to PvP. What made PvP enjoyable in previous games in the past, like in COD, older Battlefields, as well as Red Dead Redemption multiplayer, and even GTA 4 multiplayer, they just try to add more things to it, and it makes it complicated, it makes it annoying when a lot of players just want to go into a mode and just pew-pew each other, right? And just see how good each other are without relying on ability cards, Deadeye, having to constantly spam tonics, food, consumables, or using explosive incendiary ammo. And specifically, when it comes to the PvP matches, I love the way they start. They either start with a quick showdown or a duel between the players, a standoff, and that's really awesome to have the players line up against each other. And then once that's done, then you get on with the rest of the match. There's a variety of different matches that you can do, especially with the casual game mode. That's also fun. And it's surprising that there's plenty of people that are still playing the PvP modes in Red Dead Redemption multiplayer. And yeah, I think that it's awesome. Plus, another thing that is not in Red Dead Redemption multiplayer that other players cannot use against you to grief you is a lack of lasso. There is no lasso in Red Dead Redemption multiplayer. Many years ago, when asked about the lasso, I believe the developers at Rockstar said they didn't want the lasso added to Red Dead Redemption multiplayer because they were concerned that players were going to be griefed by the lasso. So you don't have to worry about being lassoed in Red Dead Redemption multiplayer. Now, there is fire bottles, dynamite, as well as other throwables like throwing knives and tomahawks. But overall, I'm having way more fun doing PvP in Red Dead Redemption multiplayer, whether it's in a free roam or in the various PvP matches and modes through the casual games where you play with friends or randos that also want to do the PvP modes in Red Dead Redemption multiplayer. And I love the way they start off with either duels or showdowns, you know, lining you up against each other. And then after that, you get straight into the match, whichever it happens to be. And there's a variety of locations and different modes that randomly pop up, you know, from match to match in Nuevo Paraíso down in Mexico, as well as New Austin, and even in parts of West Elizabeth in Red Dead Redemption multiplayer. It's simpler, but it's way more enjoyable than Red Dead Online. Unfortunately, there is cons when it comes to Red Dead Redemption multiplayer. The limited availability, the sad reality is not everybody can play Red Dead Redemption multiplayer. It's predominantly limited to Xbox players thanks to Microsoft and backwards compatibility from the 360 to the Xbox One, the Xbox One X, as well as the Xbox Series S and X. It is available on the PS3 and through PlayStation Now. It would be awesome if eventually Sony made Red Dead Redemption backwards compatible for the PS5. That would be cool, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. And the Red Dead Redemption was never ported over to PC because of issues. Now, if you end up going into Red Dead Redemption multiplayer for the first time to do PvP or just to rank up your character and try to get legendary status, don't expect it to look as good as Red Dead Redemption 2 or Red Dead Online. Graphically, it still holds up, but the graphics are still dated because this is a decade-old game, and the controls are a little bit wonkier. They're not as smooth at times compared to Red Dead Online. And plus, there's also graphics, controls, FPS issues that you're going to come across, obviously. And since Red Dead Redemption multiplayer is over a decade old and only being alive because of the Microsoft servers for the 360, Xbox One, and Xbox Series, there have been some hacking, modding concerns that do occur for Red Dead Redemption multiplayer. But despite all that, I have been thoroughly enjoying going back to Red Dead Redemption multiplayer for my Road to Legendary series on Sundays. And I've actually been enjoying PvP in Red Dead Redemption multiplayer way more than Red Dead Online. And like I said, I am not the best at PvP. I probably get killed way more times than I get kills in free roam or in the PvP modes, but I'm still having a blast playing Red Dead Redemption multiplayer PvP. If Rockstar would have simply taken everything that was awesome about Red Dead Redemption multiplayer, including the simplicity of the PvP modes and PvP and free roam, and copy pasted that over to Red Dead Online at the launch for Red Dead Online beta, in all honesty, I think that Red Dead Online would be much better if it was Red Dead Redemption multiplayer Mark II or 2.0. Especially when it comes to PvP. Your thoughts, your views, your opinions. Do you think that PvP is better in Red Dead Redemption multiplayer than Red Dead Online? And what are some other things about Red Dead Redemption multiplayer that you wish Rockstar would have implemented and copy-pasted over to Red Dead Online as well? Welcome below in the comment section.